2% battery, a wall socket that just laughs at your plug, and a whole trip stretching out ahead of you. Sounds stressful, right? Now flip it. One tiny gadget in your bag turns every outlet on the planet into your outlet, and suddenly that whole problem disappears. That gadget is the universal travel adapter, and the good news is it works everywhere because it only changes the shape of your plug, not the voltage from the wall, so your laptop, phone, and camera batteries are happy anywhere on Earth, while single voltage heating gadgets like an American hairdryer are the one thing to leave at home. So let's find your perfect match. I've rounded up the 7 best universal travel adapters you can grab right now. All the links are waiting for you down in the description. So let's dive in. First up is the Minix 659HS, and this one sits right at the very top of the food chain. It's a GAN 3 powerhouse rated at 170 watts total with 3 USB-C ports and 1 USB-A, and a single port that can push a massive 140 watts all on its own. That number really matters because it means you can fast charge a 16-inch MacBook Pro at full tilt without thinking twice. Picture yourself in an airport lounge somewhere in Europe with just one plug in the wall, and you're simultaneously pulling 100 watts to render video on the MacBook, another 35 watts topping up an iPad Pro, and 30 more on a camera battery, all from this one little brick. What truly makes it special is the smart power split. Where a lot of rival chargers choke your main laptop port the instant you plug in a second device, the Minix keeps your big laptop properly fed no matter what else is hanging off it. It's on the heavier side at around 266 grams, so on an old loose socket it might sit a touch proud of the wall, but the locking pin mechanism feels rock solid. If you're a creator, editor, or developer hauling a workstation laptop around the world, this is the one. If the Minix is all about raw muscle, the Ceptics WPS2B Plus is all about peace of mind. Instead of slide-out pins, it uses swappable plug heads that snap on and off, and it packs 35 watts across 2 genuine US wall sockets, a USB-A, a USB-C, and a built-in cable. The headline feature is something almost nobody else offers: true end-to-end grounding plus independent ETL certified surge protection, which is wonderfully rare in this category. On top of that, dual LED indicators light up to show you whether the wall is pushing 110 or 220 volts before you plug anything in, which is brilliant. It's built for the safety-minded American traveler carrying dual-voltage US gear like a CPAP machine or a premium shaver. The one gentle thing to note is that those AC sockets only accept US flat-pin plugs, so a European appliance won't fit, and at 35 watts your laptop sips power calmly rather than gulping it. In a charming 100-year-old Paris hotel with one wobbly socket, the plug head sits flat and stable, and those LEDs warn you about the voltage before anything sparks. For a US traveler who values electrical safety above all, nothing else comes close. Next is the Nuvanga HHT202A, your budget-friendly featherweight. At roughly 90 grams, it's astonishingly light and compact, delivers a tidy 20 watts of USB-C fast charging, and protects you with dual 8-amp fuses and child safety shutters. It's tailor-made for the student studying abroad or the backpacker bouncing between hostels across Southeast Asia, where a phone, some earbuds, and a small power bank are really all you're charging overnight. Here's a fun little quirk. The pins use a strict safety interlock, so you have to fully reset one regional plug before the next unlocks, and the first time you try it, you'll be convinced you bought a broken one, right up until you realize it's just a clever safety lock doing its job. There's also a lovely hidden touch, a spare fuse tucked away in a secret compartment for the day you inevitably try to run a hotel kettle through it. It feels a bit more plastic than the premium GAN bricks, but for the price, it's a fantastic companion. Stepping back up in power, the URJ DO215 is a 100-watt GAN charger that bridges the gap between extreme power like the Minix and everyday travel duty. It carries 5 USB ports plus a universal AC outlet, so you can run up to 6 devices at once, and it uses an auto-reset fuse, which means if you accidentally overload it, it simply cools off and resets itself instead of turning into an expensive paperweight. This is the dream setup for the digital nomad turning a foreign cafe into an office. Laptop on the mains, phone charging, a portable monitor over USB-C, and a camera battery in the AC outlet all at once. It does get pleasantly warm under a sustained 100-watt load, which is completely normal for GAN running flat out. One pro tip worth knowing: to actually unlock that full 100 watts, you'll want a proper eMarker rated cable, since a generic one will quietly cap you at 60 watts. Plug in the right cable and it absolutely flies. The Doace 669 DHW takes that same 100 watts of GAN power and solves a completely different headache: cable chaos. It builds a retractable USB-C cable straight into the chassis, so your main cable is always right there and never tangled. For the minimalist business traveler, this is a small revolution. Imagine sitting at the gate, pulling the built-in cable out to fast charge your laptop, then the boarding call comes and one press snaps the whole thing back into its shell and into your bag. No spaghetti of loose cables anywhere. Where it differs from the URJ is philosophy. That full 100 watts only flows through the retractable tether, while the extra body ports top out around 15 watts, so you'll want to charge your laptop on the built-in cable rather than a long aftermarket one. It charged a demanding 16-inch MacBook Pro most of the way up in well under an hour on that tether alone, so the convenience never costs you speed where it counts. Landing right in the sweet spot is the Ventar JY309 Max, a 75-watt GAN adapter that, in my opinion, is the most sensible all-rounder of the bunch. Its single USB-C port hits 67 watts, the perfect amount for a 13 or 14-inch laptop like a MacBook Air, and with 3 USB-C and 2 USB-A ports, it handles a whole family's worth of devices. Picture a family of 4 crammed into a Tokyo hotel room with exactly 1 free pair of outlets, and this little thing quietly charges an iPad, 2 iPhones, an Apple Watch, and a set of earbuds overnight while everyone sleeps. One thing to note next to a grounded unit like the Ceptics is that the Ventar skips a grounding pin, leaning on its GAN circuitry for protection rather than a physical earth path. You may also notice it briefly blink the power for a second or two when you plug in a new device, and that's not a fault, it's just the adapter politely renegotiating how to share the power. Lighter than the big bricks at around 224 grams, it never sags out of the wall. Finally, there's the Unamia Y311. A brand new 2026 ultra slim design that throws out the chunky cube shape entirely. It's about the size of a business card, weighs only around 112 grams, and sits so flush against the wall that the classic problem of a heavy adapter slowly drooping out of a loose socket simply disappears. With 25 watts across 2 USB-C ports, a USB-A, and an AC pass-through, it's purpose-built for the weekend warrior or the executive on a quick 2-day hop to London with nothing but a slim case. If all you need is to keep a phone, a smartwatch, and some headphones topped up, it's perfectly judged. Just remember it shines at charging one device at a time rather than blasting everything at once. The only real risk is that it's so thin and discreet you'll probably walk out of the hotel and leave it behind in the wall. Where the Nuvanga wins on rugged fuse protection, the Unamia wins on pure pocketable elegance, 2 different takes on traveling light. So how do you choose? If you're a demanding professional or remote creator who needs to charge a heavy laptop and a pile of accessories at full speed, the Minix 659HS stands in a class of its own. If you're an American traveler who puts electrical safety first, the grounded, surge-protected, voltage-warning Ceptics is unmatched. For minimalist budget trips, the Nuvanga gives you rugged, fuse-protected basics, while the Unamia gives you that gorgeous, ultra-slim profile. If you simply hate untangling cables, the Doace and its built-in retractable tether is a joy. And if you want one adapter that balances power, weight, and family-friendly ports beautifully, the Ventar JY309 Max is the smartest pick for most people. All the links are down in the description, so go grab the one that fits your travels, and if this helped, do subscribe so you don't miss the next one.